Coming up today on That LTD Life, it's the dream of every marketer. What if you could find all of those people who visit your website but never reach out? They don't contact sales, they don't fill out a contact form. They're just hiding in the shadows, waiting for the perfect opportunity. Well, now you can connect and close the deal thanks to HyperReach.ai. That's the promise anyway. I'm going to be testing out this tool from beginning to end. I'll show you where it works well and where it kind of falls down. And trust me, there are places it falls down. I've already been using it. Spoiler alert. Currently $59 at AppSumo. No, that is not a $59 a month subscription. That is a one-time cost. So if this works out at all, you can close one client. It's definitely going to be worth 59 bucks. Now there are other pricing plans available, but I did pick up the $59 version for this review. So you can know everything that you're going to get for 59 bucks, and we'll go through all of the plans and pricing at the end. So here is my HyperReach account. Now I've already been playing around with this tool, so there is a little bit of data sprinkled in, but I tried to clear out as much as I could so we could see kind of a fresh start here. The first thing you're probably going to want to do is just get that tracking code up and on your website so that when people visit your website, you can start gathering those leads even if they don't contact you. So to do this, it's a little bit weird. What you need to do is click on IP to people, kind of the first menu item. Then we're going to create an ICP list. Okay, so very disjointed. IP meaning like IP address. We're going to translate those into people. All right, that makes sense to me. Create an ICP list. An ICP list means ideal customer profile. This is very disjointed. I don't know why they don't just say, here's your tracking code or add a website, something like that. That would make more sense, but they don't. So in order to get a tracking code, we actually need to create an ICP list. I'm going to do that right here. I'll click Create ICP List. It pops open this right-hand sidebar with a lot of fields here that are very confusing. So the only one you really need to enter in is ICP name. I'll click here and then they confuse me some more by giving me some options to choose from. ICP List 10, I could choose that if I wanted. But you know what? I don't want to. I want to type my own. So you can actually do that. I'll just delete this. Well, there we go. I can eventually delete it and I'll start typing demo. We're going to call our list here demo. And then I can specify who my ideal customer might be. If I want to only contact C-level employees, I could choose that. I don't. I'm going to get rid of it. If I wanted to find people that are just in maybe the United States, maybe Canada, maybe Australia, you get the point here. You can add as many countries in as you like. And by the way, you're not going to lose any leads that fall outside of this list. It's just to kind of target things so you can group them together. You can think of the ICP list as a filter that you're just saving. So make it as sparse or as detailed as you like. For me, the only other thing I want to do is set the employee range to be 2 to 10. I know for our business, we don't work very well with brand new businesses because we tend to be too expensive. So if you've got 0 or 1 employees, probably not a great fit. If you have 11 to 50, you might actually be hiring internally for what we do. So the 2 to 10 range is kind of our sweet spot. And I think everything else I'm just going to leave blank. So I'll click on this button right here. It's obscured by their chat box, which is a little bit weird, but I'm going to go ahead and click it. I think it says create. And now I have my first ICP list created. Remember, this is just like a filter, which we can do a manual filter over here, but the ICP list is like a saved filter. Now I've already got the tracking code on my site. So you can see it says total revealed companies is 1. Well, that's because I've got the script already running. If you don't have the script, because that is not going to happen automatically, you'll have to click over here to get the script. Now you can create more than one script. So I've got my existing one right over here, but you could create a new one just by entering a name. I could call this demo script, hit submit, and then here you go. You get your demo script. You can copy this and paste it over onto your website using the normal tools. If you're using something like WordPress, or if you're on Squarespace or Wix, you can put it in the header or footer code sections. Okay, since I've already had the script running on my site, I've got a company that has been revealed here. You can see it says Hamlin Construction, and I can go in and learn a little bit more about this company, which we will do. But before we do that, I want to set up our own organization. So I'm going to go over to the org builder over here, and I'll create a brand new organization. This is where we essentially train their AI on information about our company. There's 4 steps to this process. The first one is to actually enter in the company info. So I'll click up here to add a new company. And then you just fill out this little form with your company name, your website, your services and offerings, and your value proposition. When that's all done, click the Add Company button and you'll be good to go. Now you see my company shows up right here. Now, if you have multiple companies, you can add another company and just repeat the same process. So I'll go ahead and do that. Whoa, that window closed a little erratically there for me. I'll call this one Dave Swift and I'll enter in daveswift.com and then I'll hit Add Company. And you can see it just adds in a second company here. So for my org builder, I want to choose the company right now that I want to work with, which is Client Amp. And then I can set up a goal for this organization. I can schedule meetings. I can connect with my customer. I can interrogate, which is a very, very harsh word. The developers should know that in the United States. Interrogation is not something that you want to do to cold prospects. So we'll skip to the next one, which I'm going to choose is engage. It says, I'm trying to assess if this is something the person is interested in. All right, that's a good place to start for cold emails, cold connections. So then the third step here out of 4 is to choose a LinkedIn field. Now, we actually do need to choose our tone as well. So I'm going to just choose casual. And then over here on the other column, it says choose LinkedIn fields. What's actually going on is when a lead has been discovered, it's going to visit their LinkedIn profile, scrape all of their information off, and then create a cold email that's relevant to the information you select over here. So their about section, their education, their certifications. You can choose as many of these fields as you want, but there is a note that if some of the fields are empty, they'll pick random fields just to make sure you can still write the email, which I think makes sense. That's a good thing to do. Now, if I scroll down to the bottom here, I can go to the next screen, which is to actually create the prompt. So it's going to take the information it scrapes from LinkedIn, combined with a custom prompt over here to actually create the cold email. Now, I don't want to take the time to write a prompt, so I'm going to show their sample prompts. These are basically like templates. You can just scroll through and find one that looks good to you. I want you to act as a professional cold email writer, creating personalized email for client name. All right, that sounds good. I'll choose that one. And you can see here, it's been filled into the prompt section. And then we have an org name field down here. Now, at first, I thought this would pull in the name of the company and I would get like a drop down to choose the one I set up. But no, this is different. The org name could be different than the company name. I guess they're thinking like there's going to be different organizations within a company. So it makes sense to kind of keep things separate, which I guess it makes sense for larger companies. I'm going to go ahead and name this Client Amp, and then I'll hit create over here. Okay, so here we go. We've got our org right here. Now I could repeat this process, add another org if I wanted, just go through the same little wizard again. Maybe this time it would be for Dave Swift, but you know what? I'm not going to do that. The single org is going to be just fine. So we've got our org set up. We've got our tracking code deployed. We are starting to get some leads. Here are the companies that have been revealed. We want to send emails as quickly as we can. So the next step is to connect up your email address so that when we send out the cold emails, it'll be able to go through properly. So we'll head down to accounts right over here. Now you're going to notice that it says you don't have any accounts yet. Please add one from here. This button and connect account take you to the exact same place where you can choose between a Google integration and an SMTP integration. This is where the tool completely breaks for me, unfortunately. So if I go to the Google/G Suite integration and I click sign in with Google, I'll choose my account here. And unfortunately, I get this message that GoZen.io has not completed the Google verification process. Sometimes when you get a message like this, you can click a button and just continue going, but you can't in this scenario. It just says access denied. So we can't actually connect up a Google account. Well, for me, that's no problem. I use SMTP most of the time anyway, so I'll just go do that, right? We'll head over here where it says any provider, SMTP, connect. I'll enter all my credentials in. And now here we go. I should be able to connect up this account. I've filled out everything. It's got the correct info. If I hit connect, unfortunately, it just says request failed with status code 406. It happens so quickly, it makes me think they didn't even try. I can try a different port here. Perhaps that was the issue. No request failed again. Let's turn off the security. Again, request failed. And there's really only 2 ports I could possibly be using right now, and it is simply not connecting. I've connected this up to several other tools. I want to say dozens at this point, and it's always worked. So there's definitely something going on with the connected email accounts. Now, unfortunately, we can't send off their campaigns until we connect an account, but that's okay. The tool still has some value, and perhaps this is a temporary outage that can get fixed. If it does get fixed, I will update you in the next episode of the Taco Truck Roundup. that is the weekly show where I go through and summarize my full-length reviews. So if you think these reviews are a little bit long, you want something shorter, definitely check out the weekly show called the Taco Truck Roundup that is posted right here on this YouTube channel. So get subscribed, like, and all of that. Okay, so let's just leave the email sending aside for now. Trust me, I'll be able to work this out as we go, at least make some use of the tool. So let's head back to the IP to people section. We can see our lead here. We're going to click into that and see what information we can get, because despite the email problems, this section is actually pretty cool. So this company visited my website and I can see all of their info over here. They're based in St. Paul. If I click on the organization, I can actually see the people who work there according to LinkedIn. And we got Raj here, Matt, Dave, and Pete. Now let's say I wanted to reach out to, I don't know, how about Raj, Matt, and Dave? All right, I've just added them to my list. Now, the next tab, again, makes no sense to me. So it says your ICP. When I click on this, no matter if this company matches the ICP or not, it always just says no matching items found. So I don't know the purpose of the Your ICP tab at all. So if someone does, leave me a comment and let me know. So let's skip over that. Let's go to the next tab, Selected Profiles. Now, these are the profiles I just chose from the organization screen. Once I choose them from the organization screen, they show up here under Selected Profiles. This user interface could not be more confusing, but once you see it, it kind of makes sense. So what you can do here is you choose the profiles ahead of time. You can't do anything with these. If you click on them, you're just going to delete them. That's the only option. Then over here, you choose one of your organizations. I've got Client AMP set up. Then you choose your campaign. I can either choose an existing campaign or create a new one right from this screen. And watch, if I choose the existing campaign that I set up, now I get a magic button that appears, kind of like playing Zelda when you walk through the wall. Suddenly, doodly-doo, we get the little option to click on Personalize Mail here. And what this does is actually create a campaign. So everything about this user interface could really use some improvement because it is not clear. Selected profiles should be something about creating an email campaign. And here are your leads, here are the contacts. And then you have to choose the organization and the campaign that you want to create. This is just very, very confusing. And then we get this magic button that appears. If I click this, it creates a campaign over here. And you can see there's not one here yet, but if I reload, I get this little wizard. This, by the way, the wizards show up every single time you click on some of these screens. Okay, well, it's not showing up right now, but just wait because they will eventually populate with a new campaign. While I'm waiting for the campaign to eventually show up, let me show you an existing campaign right here. If I click on the test campaign, which I made before I hit record, I get a little wizard. I'll close out of that. Now I can go into this campaign. There's essentially 3 sections. We've got our analytics for emails that have already been sent. We've got our sequence for emails that we want to go out. So we can see step 1 here. We get a little editor. I can create more steps and set a delay between the emails. And then over on schedule, I can set up when I want the emails to go out, between what timing, set up the time zone down here, maybe a sending pattern, number of emails to send per day with a gap between emails. You can even randomize things, track opens and clicks. A lot of great features built in here, but again, I can't demonstrate these because I can't connect up a sending account. So emails to use, I would see the sending accounts connected right here, but there's no option for that. Okay, so that is the 3 steps up at the top. But in order to actually get emails into this platform, we've got to click on this button. Again, we just need to know this. There's not really a step to guide you towards what to do, even though there is a wizard. But I'm going to click on View Profiles. And there we go. We can see our contacts that came from that IP to people section. We've got Matt and Raj, and well, I added myself in there as well, but there was a different Dave that we saw also. And then I could find their emails right from this screen. I can just click on Find Email and it would go out and find Raj's email. If I wanted to just do everyone on this list, there is a Find Email button as well. Now, without any input from me, under this personalization section, it actually writes an email to the contact. Let's view more here. You can see the email that would be maybe the initial contact for Raj saying, hey, I noticed your company is making strides, and it's studied their LinkedIn profile. And then it talks about Client AMP, what we do, and it asks for a quick chat to see how we can support Hamlin in their online success. Now, if I don't like this version of the email, I can just scroll to another one or to another one. There's 5 different options here. And of course, there's an edit button as well, but it is obscured by their chat bubble currently. So I can click edit and then I can just edit it right here. Not Not a lot of fancy editing. It's just, basically plain text. But if this email looks good, I could just copy it and then send it over in my regular email application. I don't need to send it out from HyperReach. Now, there is another way to do outreach from within this tool. It's under Personalize Mail. It's a little incongruent how this fits into the rest of the tool, from my opinion. But if I go under this section, I can either upload a list of contacts. I have to choose the company first, and then I can dump in a CSV file of different contacts. Or what you might want to do is just create single messages to do outreach to specific people that you find on LinkedIn. So let me show you what I mean. This is going to be a little bit slower, but you might get better results by taking the extra step. So Personalize Mail, Personalize Single Profile, then you can just paste in a LinkedIn profile here. Here is my profile, and I'll hit Compose Mail. Oh, it gives me an error here to select the org folder. So I actually need to go back to the company, choose the company again. I'll paste in my contact, and now I'll hit Compose Mail, and it'll work. A little glitch there, but it's gonna go ahead and compose the mail. It pulls up my contact info. And just like we saw in the campaign builder, we've got 5 different emails that we can choose from here. And there's even a link to open up our email client. It's gonna pop this up over in Gmail, and there we go. I can simply enter in the email address. Now, it didn't find the email for me, but I've got an email all ready to go, and I have to customize it with the client name. But hey, it's not nothing. The email itself is personalized to their LinkedIn profile. Now, there are some integrations with this tool. To show you what they are, I'm gonna go over to the integration section here. I've already connected up Google Sheets, but it works with MailChimp, Zoho CRM, SendFox. We got lots of tools the Sumalings will like here, Akumba Mail, Pabbly Connect, Zapier. So those are all available. And what you would do to use them is inside of the campaigns tab. I've got my campaign here. By the way, the other one just hasn't shown up yet. If I click on the triple dots, I can see my integrations. Let's say I want to export these leads off to a Google Sheet. I could do that. There's also the option to download it as a CSV. A little odd that that's living under the integration section, but there it is. And you can see the other integrations that are available, but they're kind of grayed out because I've not connected them. So I can close out of that. There's also in the triple dots, we can rename our campaigns if we want to. So maybe I'll call this Dave's List, hit update, and there we go. Now, I don't know what I did wrong there. I'm going to try to export Raj to a new campaign. And it says, creating your personalized mail, please check your campaign. I'll go back over there, go over our campaigns. And sure enough, here we are. This is the personalized list that we just created. I probably want to rename it right away. It'd be nice if they added a step in when you're actually creating the list to name the campaign. I think that would make a lot of sense. But you know what? We're about done with the tool here. There's not a lot more to see, unfortunately, because I can't get a sending account connected up. So let's head over to AppSumo, look at the plans and pricing, and I'll give you my final verdict. So here are the plans and pricing for HyperReach. This is a deal that is very much just limit-based, buy what you need or you think you will need type of scenario. The $59 plan has all of the features, but the limits are pretty constrained. And as you go up in the dollar amount that you're spending, you're gonna get a lot more contacts. Tier 5, by the way, $900, moves everything to almost unlimited. There is a limit of 300,000, I believe. We should probably get that checked because clearly tier 4 has 150,000. I think it's just a typo there. But we get unlimited almost everything else other than email finder credits per month and IP reveals per year. So keep in mind that is per year. All right, so time for my final conclusion. Obviously, this tool needs a lot of help. There's quite a few parts of it that are just broken or very inconsistent. Every time I click into certain categories, I get the little wizard to pop up. It drives me crazy, even though it's just a single click away. Just seems unnecessary and kind of sloppy. Like, you're launching on AppSumo, make sure this stuff is squared away. But with all of that said, if you use this tool and get 500 IP reveals per year and you close 1 to 4 customers because of it, that's pretty valuable, even if the rest of the tool is completely broken. This is a great way to possibly discover those leads that are kind of checking out your stuff, but are a little uncertain about making first contact. So while I can personally justify the purchase, I can't in good consciousness recommend the tool or give it a very high rating because just so much of it is broken right now. Now, if anything changes, if things get fixed between now and say 4 or 5 days from now, I will definitely update you on the Taco Truck Roundup. So definitely get subscribed for that one. So final score, I'm gonna have to give this one a 4.6 out of 10 for GoZen HyperReach.ai. That's going to do it for this video. Make sure you head over to clientamp.com, get signed up for the free email newsletter. If you're going to shop on AppSumo, check out my link in the description. I greatly appreciate it. It's what allows me to create these videos. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next review.